Oh, Dave, that was such a good joke you just told.
Thank you.
Oh, if people only knew.
Uh,
Oh my God. 5 times? Oh, forget about it,
and
man.
that
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
And I cut you off, Dave. I'm sorry.
you
What
did.
were
I
you-
was going to say, and on Sunday.
Yes, on Sunday. Yes, yes. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Late Horror Show, Paranormal Into the Night. We are remembering Art Bell, one of our favorite things to do. Holy Moses, Dave. Is there a lot of, wait, what? Holy Moses.
I was
Holy
looking
Ghost.
for Moses.
Oh, part your pencils in the mug. And he finds that perfect pen.
I don't even think Moses could do that. It's
I,
pretty tight in there.
Dave Plouffe, I shall part your pens. And then one pen just shines and outglows from all the others.
I think that's in Deuteronomy.
That's hey, okay, so hello everybody. Good to see everybody. Sunday fun day. Yeah, we're wowing them. Here we go.
We always do.
Remembering Art Bell. Give a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Comments. Wait, what do you? Oh, you're looking at the chat. Okay, I see that. Let's see. Let's say hi to everybody, Dave, and then we'll get into it.
All right.
Lots of really cool ghost stories. We can almost have a part 3 on this, but we're not going to. I mean, that's pushing it. That's pushing it. People now are going, part 2? What? I've seen this already then? No, not really. Hello, Albert Jacobs. How are you doing? Harry Scott, good to see you. Connie Clary. Edward Stewart. Did I say Edward? No, I said Albert. Who did I say? Harry. We have Ed.
You're only on the third one.
I know.
Albert. J-dot-o-dot-B-dot. Did I say Ed? I didn't say Ed.
Yes. Harry. Good.
We got Albert. We got Harry.
We got Nathan. We got Ricky. What's going on, Ricky? JLR, what's going on? Hugs you. Regina, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm going to stop there. Chat seems to be a little quiet tonight. So
they're Christmas shopping.
Yeah. Are they Christmas shopping or do they got the football game still going? It's 8 o'clock.
One hell of a game.
One hell of a game, man. I bet 15 walnuts that my team would win. I bet nuts among my friends.
Okay.
We bet walnuts because we all met in is it AA for gambling? Gambling Anonymous? AA?
I thought it would be PA for Pistachios Anonymous.
Okay, there you go. Whatever. But good to see everybody.
Yep.
Dave.
Yep. Tell me.
Tell everybody who's never seen us before talk about Art Bell. A little bit about remembering Art Bell.
Absolutely. And hello to Ricky Marshall, who just came in, and for Raj Ram for the Trader Joe's update from last week. We'll tell you that at the end.
Oh, and the Mad Yokai.
Mad Yokai's here, yes. So what are we talking about? Art Bell. So Art Bell, famous radio talk show host, heavy into the paranormal, ghosts, UFOs, anything fun. And he did these live broadcasts about the mid-90s to the early 2000s, and they were amazing. They were live broadcasts 5 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. He broadcast out of his house, whether it was in Nye County, Nevada, or even in the Philippines when he was, living there for a while. And
which I hated. I hated when he was over there.
I hated that too.
Yeah. I like the fact that Art Bell was in his bed. He slept twice a day, would take 4-hour increments. And you're thinking, oh, Art Bell's just getting out of bed. And Gil goes into his shack and he starts doing the show. I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's okay. But I always just think about him more in the desert, and just having these huge like satellite poles and things like that, radio towers out in his backyard, all the transmission equipment in his trailer. And he was just the coolest guy that you would want to hang out with. He almost got me smoking. I mean, I thought he was just so cool. And he was great. And did live broadcasts from, let's say, about 10 o'clock at night until maybe 3, 4 in the morning. And it was just, you couldn't turn the radio off.
The greatest paranormal show ever. And I guess we should say Merry Christmas to everybody, as Christmas will be over by the time we see them next week.
That's true. And that's why I put up on my name up here.
Oh, what did you put up? Dave wishes everyone a Merry Christmas. I usually read that, but yeah.
I check my calendar.
Yeah. But what made Art Bell so great was how personal it was between us, the listeners, and him as a paranormal talk show host. And Art Bell, it's one of those freak things, Dave. You know what I mean? He was at the right place at the right time. He's done it his whole life. Nobody really, there was like Long John Neville back in the day, but we're going back to the 50s and stuff like that. But there never really was somebody like Art Bell, who tackled topical paranormal things, in the dead of night, So not only was it personal, he struck lightning, nighttime. He's talking about the scariest things, aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts. Oh, nothing like it. And there's nothing out there like it now,
I would even put it on my calendar months in advance.
Oh, yeah.
Ghost to Ghost coming up in October. His prediction show, which we're going to be doing ours next week. But he had this great prediction show at the end of every year. And he was just someone that you wanted to hang out with at the end of your day. Your day could be crummy, and many times mine was in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I could go home and I could relax and I could listen to Art Bell.
Yeah. Mitch, what's going on? Good to see you. Everybody sit here and positively think. She says it's not going to be on till Monday. Can we possibly get her power back on, Chris W? Today? Power. Think about the electricity going through the wires, powering up. Whatever. We're going to do an experiment, Dave. Like Art Bell did.
Art Bell did, and made an impact.
Yes, it did. Yes.
In fact, I think he prayed for rain, and then they got too much rain.
Yeah. It's, listen, when you get, again, the broad scope of his show, it was just amazing. I mean, it was like Rush Limbaugh, but at night, and the audience of that show, think of it at night talking about Bigfoot. I mean, geez.
And it was always, to me, Art Bell was always at the same level. It wasn't like this was better than this. It was always Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, aliens in a freezer. It was always taken very seriously. Very
Jonathan Reed.
Yes. And then
false fraud. Anyways, okay.
And once or twice he did kick a couple people off.
Yeah.
That was exciting. So he was just really cool.
Oh yeah. Even his guests like Peter Davenport, who would come in and get exclusive interviews with people who just had sightings that day, and there was fresh seeing a UFO up in the sky, and they would talk about it. The GIS, one of my favorites with the ghosts and the EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon, which is a very, very cool thing in the paranormal realm there. The Mummy and the Monkeys here. Hey group. They still play Retro Art Bell on the radio before new episodes of Coastal. Yep, they sure do. That's if you want to start collecting and recording and whatever, you can find them anywhere. Listen, there are ways to find these shows. I've got quite the hard drive filled of Art Bell shows. Dreamland, You know, he did that on Sundays. That was good too. Overkill with an O. What's going
I
on?
didn't like the music on Dreamland.
You didn't like the? It was well, it was a bit more spiritual.
It was.
Yeah, and then eventually Whitley Strieber took over that thing. I think he's still trying to do it, but it's like online or something like that. I don't know.
I much rather would have the Midnight Express, the do 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 do. You know.
Oh, the classic songs he would play. Oh, just magnificent. So this is part 2 because we goofed off so much the last time that we didn't get through too many stories. But we're going to try to tackle as many of the callers who called in as possible. So there you go. With that said, I'm going to let you take it, Dave, and start off with whichever story you want to start off with.
Well, we're going to start with Brad from Phoenix, is where we left off.
Brad from Phoenix?
Absolutely. He is uh-oh.
Brad, I got Randy in Hawaii.
That's funny. I got Randy in Seattle.
Oh, the story took place in Hawaii.
Yes,
Brad. Okay, so is Brad the one that was in the nursing home?
No, his grandfather. This is just a quick one, anyway. Brad's grandfather had died when he was about 15 years old, and the grandfather was 77. But he goes, at 77, you can imagine my grandfather was a little ornery. He'd play tricks on you. You know, he'd kind of tap your shoulder and then run to the other side when you turned, things like that.
Where the hell are you at? Jeez.
Well, I'm just going to do this one, and then you can get to Randy in Seattle, Hawaii.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so Randy's sister, you know, we know the grandfather's going to die, but the sister, like, got married, and she was going to, like, go to Israel with her husband and everything, and like they couldn't get refunds on their tickets, and the grandmother's all like, just freaking go. And so they went, they're overseas, and when the grandfather dies, the watch stops of the new husband. And the ironic twist is that the grandfather used to be a watchmaker.
Okay.
Dun dun.
There you go. Yeah. No, I'm confused. I'm trying to look for it, people.
That's okay.
Wait, who's happy birthday?
Oh boy.
Jimmy D, what's going on?
JLR, I think.
Is it JLR's birthday? Thank you. Oh, happy birthday, JLR. It was Connie's birthday last week.
2 weeks.
Yeah, and JLR. Big hugs to you, JLR. Yeah. Happy birthday. You know, some of these early ones anyways, I almost don't even want to talk about because some of them aren't that great. And I don't think the Randy story was that great. So I know the story you're talking. I just don't know what part of the show it was in. Go ahead, Dave.
No, it's okay. I think you should talk about Randy because of the idea of suicide and in afterlife and things like that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the next story is about Randy. The story takes place in 1985 in Hawaii. They're sitting. See, this is the one I'm a little. That's why I thought you'd take it. Help me out a little bit here. But they're on the military base, right? And they're sitting back by the gate.
I was going to ask you, have you ever been to Hawaii?
No.
Okay. I have. And I can tell you, Hawaii feels differently. It is old. It is historic. It is kind of like when you go to Sedona in Arizona. There is a spirituality that is present there. And it makes you feel a little weird, a little bit off, because it's not so much like, you know, a Christian nation or even people who are atheists or agnostics or anything like that. It's something more. It's tribal. It's, you know, all these kind of weird, almost voodoo type of things going on. And so the feeling is different. And basically these Marines are stationed in this location where they're, you know, walking perimeters and checking gates, things like that. And this one guy is on watch, and he kept hearing, hey, hey. Now, to me, I would think that was a bird. But when he kept chatting with other people, he's all like, hey, you know, like when I was on the gate, I heard my name, Jason. being called out. And allegedly, what had happened in this location was that there were some military police that had planned kind of a coup. They were going to kill the watch commander and then kill themselves. That never came to fruition, but one of the people in that plot ended up killing himself, and they think that is who is still haunting that area.
There you go. That's a story. I'm going to go with Daryl for the next story. What day is the 2025 prediction show, Dave?
That'd be 7 days from today.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
So there you go. Next Sunday, Rad Star. And we'll talk about that at the top of the hour. But let me go to, and the reason I'm so confused is because I had notes from, when did we do that show? A month ago? Something like that?
3 months ago.
3 months ago?
Yes.
So I looked way back into my notes and I saw it and I ripped out 2 pages that still had stories that I watched we didn't get to. And then went along with you. Anyway, so Daryl, this is a good story, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. What the hell? Okay, so Daryl, his dad turning off the camera already. He had to adjust something. Anyways, whatever. So Daryl's dad was obsessed with death. Okay. And ends up dying. But Daryl, 2 months later, he had a dream of his father, and he did not know he passed. Okay, let me get myself together here. Now we're going. Okay, so he had a dream, but he didn't know he passed. But then we're going to jump 10 years ahead. When am I skipping something? What the hell is going? I almost need to shut down the show and get the hell out of there. It's one of these days, people. I've had. Anyway, I'm not even getting into it. I'm a little jarred, I guess, Dave. I'm trying to get on track. Okay, so Daryl. Okay, I may have a nervous breakdown and have to shut down the show.
That's okay, because I just had my mic off for like the last couple of minutes.
Well, I'm trying to remember his father. This was one I listened to last time.
Yeah, so this is what happened.
At least start me off.
With Daryl. Basically, you're right. His dad was obsessed with death, which made me laugh because that's triple D, baby. Dad, death, and all that. And so he had these dreams of his dad after he passed away, and his dad would come to him and go like, "Yeah, dude, whenever you need me, I got you. I'm going to be there for you." And so one day,
let me take it then. Okay, so I think I got it now. I'm up to the first part of the story. I guess I didn't write most of that down from last week because I thought I'd remember it. I mean, 3 months ago, from 3 months ago.
I got you.
I need a doctor. Is there a doctor out there?
No, but Ray C. Bear is here.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, it's nice.
Hi.
Hey, Ray. So 10 years later, he's feeling down. He's feeling depressed. All that terrible stuff, he's just not feeling good. He's at the lowest point, really, Daryl, not feeling too good. And he says somebody started tapping, or he felt a tapping on his shoulder. I think this is when he was driving a car.
Yes,
he was driving a car, and he was going 100 miles an hour driving down the
as you would, a country back road.
Well, he's going to. That sounded like I just let out some gas. I don't know what's going on there. What's going on there? Oh, see, it's one of those things. 100 mile an hour down. First of all, I mean, he's depressed. He's going 100 miles an hour. I think he's ready to he's done.
Yeah.
But as he's doing that, he feels a tap on his shoulder. Okay. And he hears the word "what." Am I right? Grade me, Dave. He's Professor Dave. He hears his father say "what?" Right?
No.
Do we start over? we start over.
We'll see y'all next week in the prediction show.
Oh no.
No. So what happens is he's like feeling tense. He's like, again, tapping on the shoulder and everything, and he's pissed.
Yeah.
So he throws up his hands. He's going 100 miles an hour. Let's go to the steering wheel, and goes, what? What?
That's what happened. Oh my God. I need some medication. Okay, so then his father thank you, Dave. That's why we got to work together. Yeah. So his father says, hey, I'm here to prepare you for everything that's to come in the future. Because you've got a lot of good time. I guess it's the most important time if he's going 100 miles an hour down a back road and feeling depressed. But the father shows up and he says, hey, I'm going to make it worse. I'm going to tell you all these awful things that are going to happen. You're going to get a divorce. Your mother's going to get sick and die. You know, I mean, all these really bad things. So be prepared.
You're going to lose your job.
And you're going to lose your job.
It's like, hey, thanks, Dad.
Yeah. So, and he says when he hears his father's voice, it sounds like he's listening to the sound on the radio, something like that, like you know, a weird frequency or something like that. Interesting. What was that? Loud noise.
Wasn't here.
Hope the house ain't falling apart. The building. Okay, so he also says that he saw him off to the right, sitting in the street. I mean, Dave, I'm done, man. Sitting in the seat next to him. His father sitting in the seat next to him. This really wasn't the way I thought it was going to go. Jesus.
Neither did I. I was actually looking forward to this stream.
So, okay, I'm going to get on track here. Let's get on track, Dino.
All right, we're on track.
So he sees him sitting on the seat next to him, not the street. And above it, I think this is why we had a part 2. I think I did the same thing last time.
That would have been so cool if he was on the street, because you can see him driving 100 miles an hour. Woo. Hey, is that my dad?
He's running. Hey, son, I got to tell you about your divorce. I got to tell you a lot of things. Anyways, so as he's driving up to the house, right? So this is what ends up happening. And I think his wife at the time sees him coming, you know, and she says that she saw like this light above the car, you know, which, you know, he says he's seen his father in full figure right in the seat next to him. So she says, yeah, I saw a bright white light above the car, is what she said. And seconds later, puff into smoke. And, you know, the weird thing, too, she said it was like 3 inches by 1 inch of a bright light, which was weird. I don't know what that was. Is that not it?
That's later.
Finish it up, and then I'll get on track.
Okay. All right. Wow. I think something is in that ginger ale. But we're going to go ahead and move away from Daryl. But everything from Daryl actually happened. It was also like, you know, he made it sound like, you know, you're going to lose your job, your mom's going to die, you're going to get divorced, like all taking place in a year. And that's not the case. This was over like a 9-year time period where all that stuff happened.
Yeah. And I swear I'm not taking nothing. This is just me. I'm losing
maybe you should take something then.
I go through these panic spurts and my mind can't concentrate. And I think this is one of them.
All right. We're going to go down to my neck of the woods in San Diego.
Okay.
Talk about Peter and his problem because he was in love with someone.
Oh, yes, he was.
And that someone was already taken. And so he just kind of had to admire from afar. And he would make a couple phone calls every year or something. And then eventually, one time he called and he was told that this person had passed away. The family didn't bother to reach out to him or anything like that, or tell him, you know, where basically in a graveyard this guy was buried. So the guy drives over to the graveyard and it's near closing time. Let's say it's an hour from closing time.
Closing time.
And he can't find the gravestone. And if you've ever been to a cemetery, not knowing, where the gravestone is,
you can't find it.
You can't find it. Yeah, it is like hundreds upon hundreds of people. And as Art Bell says, hey, they just stack them in there because they're not going to complain. So
true.
He's getting ready to leave. He's getting really discouraged, and he sees this bird, and this bird goes squawk.
No, it don't. Let's make this. Let's not turn. This is a beautiful story.
This is a beautiful story. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The bird got his attention.
It goes like this, Dave.
Bo just freaked out.
No.
She looked toward the computer and was like, "Is that Dino?" And so the bird flies to another tree, and the guy's all, "Hey, I got to go follow this bird."
Yeah.
And so the bird, zoomed to all the trees across the graveyard. On the opposite side of the graveyard, all of a sudden the bird takes off, and 5 or 6 headstones away, that's where his friend was buried. So he never would have found it had he been on the other side of the graveyard. He found it because of the bird.
And these are, I think I'm all right now. And these are all the strange things that happen that make you sit there and ponder and think, was that really meant to guide me to his gravestone? A bird? A simple bird, everything's spiritual. How is the bird connected to him and the person he loved that's in the grave? I mean, it's all strange. This is why the paranormal field is so interesting, because there's so many untold answers, but yet so many true stories that just make you go, what is going on truly,
Yeah, there's synchronicity.
Yeah.
I think that takes place. And it's just like
my life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how does this work in the greater scheme of the universe?
Yeah.
And so much of it, because there's millions and millions of people.
And along those lines, if you feel in the mood for kind of one of those movies, Synchronicity with John Cusack, you got to watch it. The movie is unreal, unbelievable. It'll make you cry. It'll touch you. It is what it is. And let me go to the next story. Rob. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
Get to Rob. Okay. I also wanted to point out, this is the time that Art talked about the bat that came to visit him the day his dad died.
Yes, yes.
And this was also, like when I've had family members pass away, I've always looked for signs. I've never received a sign.
Yeah.
And
not so definitive on this, but it's something that Art said he felt like. So if you've got a feeling associated with something that happens, because the bat flies up onto the porch. I mean, it could happen to anybody, right?
But they're out in the desert in the middle of the day, which is where a bat would not be. Right? I mean, that's going to be fine at night, but during the day when it's hot, and it just landed on the porch.
And I think the big part of that story is he felt something. He felt the connection. So I think that, because again, a lot of people who just don't get it or don't believe or this or that or whatever will sit there and go, a bat could fly up on any porch. So coincidence, or I take Art's word for it, he really felt that there was something connected to that. So, So Rob, so he's about 53. He calls in. He's going to go back 50 years when he was 3 years old. 3 years old. I don't remember anything before 4 years old. It's 4 years old I start getting glimpses of my life. And then 5, I think it's still a little vague, but 6 definitely you start remembering,
Yeah, and I would agree. 4, I've got some snapshots.
Yeah.
But I don't remember anything at 3, and this was a weird story.
It was, and that's what I'm going to say. It's short, and you didn't buy it, and I probably don't buy it, but it was interesting enough, I think, to talk about. So 3 years old, he's in bed
A
late
crib.
at night. What?
He's in a crib
He is in a crib. He is in a crib.
because he's 3.
Well, he said bed though.
You've had kids. Do they stay in bed at 3?
No, about 2 years old. They're even sooner than 2. They're climbing out of the crib.
Okay, maybe it was a bed.
So 2 years old, you're getting a toddler bed is what you're doing.
Oh.
So yeah. So 3 years old, yeah, it's a bed. Well, we got a story later on where at 18 months the baby was climbing out of the crib, right? That's a good story.
That is a wonderful story.
We definitely need to fit that one in there. But
We will.
so I'll get to that in a second. Thank you. Here, I might as well say it. Albert Jacobs, thank you very much. $4.99 super sticker. Thank you. Much love to you, and thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Supports the channel. Supports Dave's color blindness. So just letting you guys know that. It doesn't really. That's false. So he's 3 years old. He pops out of bed because he sees this very seductive woman in the corner of his.
I didn't even think women were seductive until I was like 12. Here's you got a 3-year-old already going through puberty.
He's going, holy Moses!
Can you imagine that little kid in his diaper going, "Damn." Looking at.
I think it was his 53-year-old self saying, "Listen, this is a seductive woman." I don't think at 3 years old, like you said, I don't think he was thinking it. But now as he says the story, yeah, right there, pat your back. As he's telling the story, he says there was this very seductive woman in the corner of his room, and she was like summoning him over, and she kept saying, "Come here." This is it doesn't sound legit, but she's like, "Come here, blue eyes, come here, blue eyes."
I had to pay someone to do that for me last time that happened.
yeah, that's a saying I hear quite a bit. Come here, blue eyes. Color of the sky.
Jack Benny.
Like diamonds in the sky. So she's, "Come here, blue eyes." Your 3-year-old self is so sick.
And again, it's like, if someone did that to me at 3, I'd be all, first of all, I'm wetting my pants. Second, I'm running out. Going, "Mom, Dad, there's a seductive woman."
Well, again, 3 years old. Are you even able to speak, really? Listen, I don't know. Words do start coming out, but they're one. Anyways, let's get to it. Let's end it and move on to the next one. She says, "Stop," because he started to come to her because she's going, "Oh, baby, blue eyes, I'm coming." Stop. And then she just vanished into thin air and turns into this tiny little dot of energy or whatever you was, and shoots right into his eye. You making sure I'm on, right, Dave?
Well, I was just thinking, I just got the visual of George Costanza. Oh!
That pop can fly, baby. Yeah, never go take and eat a grapefruit across from somebody else who's not wearing glasses. Otherwise, it'll, that pop flies, baby. So anyway.
But I have the description of the woman that he gave.
Oh, okay.
Pale skin, black hair, and very buxom.
Yes. He calls back a couple callers later, and he says, "Oh, listen, remember you were going to call me back?" He's telling Art Bell this because we were going to finish the story. Sure. But what he ends up saying that when she was there and she started to vanish, she touched her finger, the light, boom, right into his eye, and he goes on to say how he had eye problems soon after that, and when the eye doctor was looking at it, there was a triangle shape mark in his pupil.
Mhm.
And to this day, it's still there.
I think that's pretty cool. That's the best part of the story.
If that was true, that was cool, because he says she used that. Oh my God, what the hell? Hold on, Dave. Greatest podcast on the planet. He says she used his eye and made that mark and shot in and out to wherever she was going and vanished that way. So anyways, that's the story. Let's move on. I took way too long with that story. There's better ones.
To me, it's actually one of the more entertaining stories.
It is.
And so I think a lot of what we have to think about with Art Bell too is he knew entertainment value.
Oh yeah.
And so he let this guy go on and everything. And the Mummy and the Monkey say, so he saw Elvira. And that is a very seductive woman.
He did see Elvira. Yes. 3 years old, though. Saw Elvira.
And Ed Stewart also said that his daughter was quite the talker at 3.
Yeah. That, it's hard to remember back, but yeah, some kids not talking, some are yappers. And yeah, especially at 3. 2 years old, maybe not so. But just starting. I gotta look at my books. I think I wrote down their first words in a book. Got that little book. That was fun. So there you go. Ezra, hey, good to see you. Hope you're feeling better. Hope the cold is gone away and you had some chicken soup and vodkas and all that good stuff. Whatever. I don't know. Okay, Dave, where do you want to go next? Bob? No.
Yes, Bob in Illinois.
Okay, yeah, he's a good guy.
As most people in Illinois are, because it's cold there in the winter.
You like Bob? Yeah, for apples. Go on, Dave.
Speaking of weather, how are you doing in Cleveland? Is it snowing? Is it raining? What's going on?
It's up and down. It's getting warmer and warmer each day now again, to where I hope it stays this way the rest of the winter, but I don't think it's going to. But yeah, we had a cold night yesterday, 21, something like that. So anyways, yeah, it's all right. It's better than it was a couple weeks ago.
Good.
Yeah. So this Bob, he saw his father's soul. Yeah.
He did. And this is kind of interesting.
It's kind of a typical story that you hear a lot about with family members around their parents just dying in the hospital, seeing this. But go ahead. Yeah.
Well, that's basically it.
Okay. So next story.
His dad has cancer, and it's a very aggressive cancer, and he's taken to the hospital, and he's going to die.
Yeah.
And so, like, the caller, he's holding one of his dad's hands. His mother is across from him holding the dad's other hand. There's kids in the room, which I disagree with. I don't think you should have kids that young in the room. And one of them kind of lost it. And the other kid went out running after him. But basically about 30 seconds after the father dies, they see this little, tuft of smoke. I should do like that. Tuft of smoke. That's where you get the 3 inches tall, 1.5 inch wide, and it just kind of dissipated. And so they think that is the dad's soul leaving the body.
Yeah, just a short little, and very interesting, because again, there are a lot of stories of this, and they even did a scientific some research on this, the weight of the body as you pass, which was very interesting. So there is a loss of weight. We're talking very, very minuscule.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, very, very interesting, for sure. And I'm going to go to Sarah. Sarah called in, and I thought this was a really cool story from my area, Cleveland, Ohio. Go on, Dave.
Indeed. And before we get to Sarah,
yes,
Art also took us some time here to talk about beliefs, and if that affected
Fruit
that.
of the Loom?
But that would be briefs.
Oh,
beliefs.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was asking Bob, what spirituality did you, get from that idea of the soul and everything like that? And Bob's all, well, got me going back to church.
Well, yeah, so stuff like this would affect you, man. Again, all you need is to have one, one thing happen to you that just doesn't, well, that persuades you for sure that, something is going on. Anyway, Sarah she's not living in Cleveland now. This was back in the day. She lived in a big brick house in Cleveland, Ohio. This is where the story takes place. What's going on, Dave?
I was going to say, she's from Omaha, right? She's living in Omaha when she calls. And I'm thinking, this is already like 22 years old. She's probably not living in Omaha now either.
She probably ain't. She's moving. No. Yeah. No, well, she's... anyways, we won't go there. So she's living in a big brick house in Cleveland, Ohio. She's got a daughter who's 18 months old. This is real small. And she would get out of the crib, climb out, middle of the night. That's scary. And she would go over to, there was a not a spiral, but she said a nice staircase.
I kept thinking of the night gallery.
Yeah. So, the pushing them down the steps to go. Yeah. So the 18-month-old girl would climb out of the crib and go to the steps, and she would take toys with her and play, and this was like in the middle of the night, and they had to keep putting her back to bed, and then one weekend guests stayed over, and they were going to stay the night, as they guests would do, set a bed up and all that. And they, the next morning, they end up telling Sarah, they go, it was so cute how your son helped your daughter back to bed last night. And Sarah went, what? I just have a daughter. I don't have a son. And she goes, yeah, she was playing with the boy, and it looked like the boy was helping her back to her crib. And I thought that was the coolest thing. Bye.
See y'all next week.
No, it's like, what's the kid doing there? Is the kid hanging around? Whatever, But at 18 months, seems like there was a little child spirit in the house that, and listen, it was from Cleveland, Ohio. I wish you would have said a street or something like that, but.
And the kid also seemed enough to be caring after this younger 18-month-old.
Yes.
Leading her off to bed, making sure she didn't fall down the stairs, because that would be my fear as a parent. But also, it was a very good warm type of feeling that I got when I heard about this story, because that infant mortality, child mortality was a lot different back in the day. So, it is common to have these young children who died at 5 years old, let's say, that ended up, maybe dying of tuberculosis or something, that are still here, that are still in that age,
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the chat, but yeah, I don't know whether to hide you.
Oh no, that's delete. Yeah,
delete you. Who needs you? Okay, thank you, Connie and Edward. Thank you. So Dave, pick a story, man. Which one you going with?
I'm going to go a little bit further away, back to the OK State, Oklahoma, and we're going to talk to Tim. Tim's dad had passed away, and he had died basically 15 years ago, and he had made a point to say that when his dad died, weird thing, the clock stopped at the time of death. We tend to hear that a lot.
Yeah.
But when his dad was sick and he was in the hospital, all the coworkers would come up to Tim and say, your dad's really proud of you. Your dad's really proud of you. And he goes, later on, I'm on a train, and he's like, I went back to a different, cabin or whatever you call the train car. And he passed this one old dark-skinned gentleman, and he's all like, hey, I talked to your dad earlier. Just wanted to say he's really proud of you. And it was the middle of the night, and I guess Tim wasn't even quite awake. And so he's all like, "Oh, yeah, thanks." And then
Yeah,
he's
he
like,
had to go to the bathroom.
that was it. Yeah, that he had to go to the restroom, and that was in the next car over. But when he comes back, he's like talking to the porter, the steward, and says, "Hey, there's this guy in the next car, and like, do you know who he is?" And the steward goes back there, and there's no one there. So it was kind of like a paranormal story.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I kind of don't get it, but because this was years later too.
Oh yeah, like a decade and a half later.
Yeah. So why would he show up in the back of the cabin still saying I'm proud of you? I mean, that's I don't know. It was weird, but it was what it was. Yeah. Good old Tim. Good old Tim. I'm going to skip the next story about the trucker and go straight to Joan, because Joan, I thought that was a really good story.
All right.
So if you want to go back to the trucker after this, you can.
Okay.
But there's a lot of good stories, and I think we should probably hit the good ones. So Joan, her friends, they built a house by the ocean. Okay, so nice. Just picture a nice big new house 15 months ago, she said, at this time, by the ocean. And Joan went down to visit her, but the couple said, well, just be warned, there are ghosts here. There are ghosts. So and I guess they mentioned there's different things that go. They described one ghostly apparition of a woman in a black vested type, which I couldn't visualize that at all.
I couldn't either. They said she did have a white shirt on and then a vest over it, and this is the one that allegedly walked through a baby and a crib.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool and really scary.
Oh yeah. But long black dress type of thing, but similar to, again, we're going to get to a shipwreck here, but could be something along those lines. Anyways, she said, there were stories like that, and they talked about it there and all that. And I don't think anything really big happened when she was there, but the neighbors, the story was too, that the neighbors to this house, they complained that all winter there were parties going on and lights were on, hearing noises. The funny things was, she mentioned that it's not like the electricity went on. It was like it was candles walking from room to room, moving around like that. And they told her, no, nobody's there in the wintertime. Nobody's there. And then they go into, then a psychic comes to check the place out, because after a while they figure, they knew this psychic, and the psychic said there was a shipwreck here right on the site of the house that they built, which is why when you talk about newer buildings, I'm turning my page and going, the rest of it is right there. When you move to newer buildings, it's not the building itself. A lot of times it's the land that it's on. There are a lot of different reasons why, but there was a shipwreck there, and she asked them to leave. She said, I guess she tried to do like an exorcism type thing, ghosts be gone, so, and I guess they left, they said the activity stopped, but the neighbors said, I don't see no activity at your house anymore, but down at the dunes by the water, you can see the lights and like a festivity or something going on, like the crews walking around partying. I mean, listen, I don't know. They crashed and had a party. I don't know what's going on, Dave.
That's just it. It's like they left the house, but now they're in the yard. And I think, I mean, I would have loved
Can
to
you
have-
imagine the psychic telling them the family wants you out? Can you at least go outside?
Yeah.
Please?
Yeah,
They
I
do. The whole
Yeah.
crew.
what I love too is like, can you imagine calling the psychic back and going, look, guys, we meant not only a house, but the yard too. Get
Yeah.
off this property.
Yeah, we can't go down to the dunes because we're scared, you know.
Well,
But yeah,
man,
no, it was weird.
this is a great story. It reminded me a little bit of Poltergeists, where this just like they just move the tombstones, right? The bodies are still there.
Reminded us of a night gallery too.
Hmm.
Remember where they were dragging the captain? Or no, Circle of Fear, Concrete Captain.
Concrete Captain.
Yeah, go down by the. Anyways,
God
yeah.
bless Daniel.
What's that?
God bless Daniel.
Oh
You
yeah.
remember Daniel?
Oh yeah. Okay,
Young old William Defoe.
William Defoe's grandfather, Daniel. Daniel is pissed. He's pissed. Is that Concrete Captain? Oh, this is what they put me on. Circle of Fear.
I know I'm only 4'11", but I can wear heels.
Well, you know, the real William Defoe is about that tall too.
Really?
Let's show Dave there as the chat is slowing up there a bit. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a really cool story.
It was, but the caller also didn't say that there were issues while the people were there, like in the summer, you know, like they're cohabitating with ghosts, which I thought was really cool.
Well,
but,
she said when the one guests were there, and the ghost went through the crib of the child that they brought along with them.
Right. Yeah.
So stuff happened all the time. It's just, you know, they moved them outside is what they did.
Agreed.
Ghost ship exorcism. Nice. Okay. So, which one you going with, Dave?
You know, I'm going to ask if we can do top of the hour festivities a little bit early.
Most certainly. We need a break, right?
Absolutely.
This has been wild. So let's go see how many thumbs up. Probably not a whole lot. Dino's off his rocker tonight. 46 thumbs up. So there you go.
You're right.
We got Connie and Edward and the Eds talking in the chat a little bit.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We might have to do the prisoner again if we start getting people like this.
Oh, do you really want that, Dave?
You know what I hate to say?
You're missing it a little bit.
I no, it's not that I'm missing it.
But you're wondering what's happening.
I need to finish it.
Well, throw it in. I mean,
and then I also just heard earlier today about how who is the prisoner? What is his name? McGowan.
Yeah, Patrick McEwen.
Yeah. So Patrick McGowan, I guess, was just a total jerk.
Oh yeah.
On the prisoner because he had to have everything just perfect, you know.
Well, he was like that in real life too.
Yeah. So, you know, I love now the struggle and getting that done and all of that. So I'm interested. I'm like, you know, we've only got like 13 episodes to go. Right. I think there's only 17 in the series, or is it 20?
I can't remember, but yeah. It's
like it's not a lot.
Well, we're only on 3 though.
No, we're done with 4.
Oh, with the prisoner. Okay, I'm thinking Circle of Fear. Okay.
Yeah. So
well, hopefully you're enjoying listening to us, you guys. Thank you, Harry. Yeah. Okay, Dave. So what do we got coming up here in the next weeks? Well, we got some paranormal stuff going on.
If we survive next this week, we're going to be doing the prediction show next Sunday. That'll be our 2026. What do you think is going to happen? We'll go over what people wrote down for 2025. We'll have a good time just hanging out together, enjoying New Year's festivities. Maybe even Chris W. will be here if she has power.
Yeah.
Bubba's here.
Hey, Bubba. Hey, Bubba. What else we got, Dave?
In Search of Ancient Mysteries, first of the year.
Should be great.
Wild Wild West. I'm jonesing for some of that.
Yeah, I'm jonesing for Wild Wild West and some more Columbo, which will be coming up soon.
We got Circle of Fear after that. We're going to tackle episode 3, which is really episode 4. But January 25th is going to be an epic show, as Connie would say. We have Dr. Jeff Thompson coming back, and we're going to talk about our favorite horror show movies from each decade. We're going to start in the 1920s. We're going to do the 30s, 40s, and so on up until 1990, I believe. 1990s.
Okay. Sounds good.
And we're just going to have a round robin circle, 3 best films that we want to talk about.
Yeah, gonna be fun. And then we got Scooby-Doo coming up, and X-Files, and lots of good stuff. So there you go. Yeah, Dave. So are you going to tackle Michael by any chance?
Not if I don't normally tackle guys. That's weird. It's creepy. It's uncomfortable. Especially this Michael. Michael was weird.
It was weird, and it seemed to lead towards he was making some kind of religious point, I think, at the end.
I don't even know if he could do that. He kept telling the story, and it never went anywhere. And like, we're in San Francisco, and then we're in Papua New Guinea, and then there's men in black and women.
Well, now we can't let them just wonder what I'm going. How about really fast? I'm going to just say, Michael, he's having these dreams of tropical areas. Papua New Guinea, and so much so, and he says it's like it's telling him something, and there's spirits or something like leading him and stuff like that, right?
Yes, but he's also like, he's got a real weird shaky voice, and Art Bell's all like, don't be worried, it's just you and me, and he goes, I'm not scared about that, I'm scared of my dreams. Type of thing. It's like, I'm scared of the experience I had that I'm telling you. And I was just like, Michael, you're weird.
Yeah, no, I know. It's and I'm not going to go on with it too much. But needless to say, he ends up down the road taking that trip, which ends up being like some 6-week trip, around those areas. So
take 6 weeks vacation.
Some people, I don't know.
Me, I'm a teacher.
Evidently, he's capable of taking a 6-week trip around Papua New Guinea and all the other areas around the Papua New Guinea. But he's trying to find this place that he keeps seeing in his dream.
Yes.
Okay. See, I'm taking long with it anyways.
That's okay. But then he's at the airport, right? And he's there's these people looking at me. And one of them's a man in black.
That was, yeah.
And one of them's a woman in black. And then the guy comes over here, and he's like staring me down.
Like he doesn't want him there.
Yeah. And then I'm
like, the
like,
woman has this like weird hairdo, like from long ago, he says. And
yes. And she's writing in her notebook, but she's writing backwards.
Right to left.
Yes. And so I'm like, maybe she's Chinese.
I don't know.
I don't know. They write from right to left.
Yes, they do. Yeah. But he didn't say. Anyways, yeah, no, it was very weird. It was very weird. But then he ends up at Papua New Guinea.
He does. And then, like, all of a sudden, we're in this tropical jungle. Yeah. And he's getting to the top of the hill, but someone's following him. He's hearing footsteps. And then he's at the top of the hill.
Footsteps on the dirt? Because he's walking on a path in a tropical jungle types.
You can ask me to play a radio station.
Shut up, Siri.
Oh no, mine will come on. I was going to ask your Siri about.
My Siri just came on to define dirt.
What is Dave going to listen to next? Anyways, probably wouldn't be.
Yeah,
footsteps.
So I don't know if we'd hear footsteps in a dirt tropical area.
Yeah, I don't know, but he makes it to the top, and this big black net like comes up and surrounds him and covers him up and scares him and
squeezes him.
Yeah.
Accuses him of negative things in his thoughts. And he then runs out of the valley. Doesn't say how he got out of the net. Runs out of the valley, and then he's like gets home 6 weeks later.
Well, what did he say? He said pray. He kept praying to be left alone. Let me alone, and it did. So Then he came home, and but oddly enough, it's made me more spiritual. Art is what he said. Next story, Dave. Pick which one you want to go with next.
Well, I only have one left, and is it Mike from Los Angeles?
Wait, what? You've got one story left.
That's mine. That's where I stopped, is 20 stories.
That's the whole show?
If you did more, that's great.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Where did you stop?
Well, I guess you can continue on.
Holy Moses. Okay, go ahead.
This is already twice the amount of stories we did last time.
So you just took what we didn't listen to last time and added a couple more stories.
No, I did twice as many.
Go on, Michael.
And it's not Michael. It's Mike.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. He doesn't like to be called Michael.
You never know. So he's in LA and he's playing pool, and he's
Ricky agrees. Michael was a fraud. Either that, he was trying to push something down our thoughts.
Yeah, but then Art did talk some good stuff about what your dreams are like, and like, do you have repeating dreams? And I kept thinking of your dream with your grandmother, which was pretty cool.
Listen, I can go into a whole thing about the dream state or what's going on with my dreaming, especially lately within the past 2 weeks. But I'm not going to go there. It's very interesting. We can argue about dreams being actual dreams. Your brain starting to go into REM and imagining and putting together stories and images and stuff like that. Or you can believe that you're kind of going somewhere else.
Like
some people can actually.
Is this astro travel, or is that something different?
Astral travel is something a little bit different. You can astral travel being totally awake, but during the dream state, when you fall to a certain dream state before the REM, whatever. I'm not going to get technical on things, but I believe there's a place you can go to that is, there are multi-dimensional layers, and worlds and places you can go to. Anyways, I'm not going to get into it tonight because it's been so like here. I'll tell you. They've been so emotional and the connection between the worlds, and I remember everything every single day. Like I don't even need a journal. Like this is heavy. And the emotion attached to each person. This is the strange part. The people in this dream, I don't know who they are, but there's a connection, and I feel who they are. If you get what I'm saying, like there's a familiarity with these people. Thank you. That was tough. With these people who are in my dreams. But it's the emotion that's connected to it as well. Mm-hmm. That is, if it's 2 here when I'm awake in this dream state, it's like a 10. Okay. Any of these emotions that I'm feeling, it's just a very strong, and people talk about these types of feelings when they talk about near-death experiences or other tragic events that kind of happen and get them out of their body and stuff like that. And it's the same type of thing, but mine aren't tragic per se at all. It's like there's a certain place that I do visit a lot, which, like, I woke up the other day, Dave, and I'm like, why did I have to wake up? This needed to continue, but it was time for me to get up, but it's just, I could talk about this for hours, and I could tell you what's going on in this, and what's, whatever's happening to me when I'm in that state or wherever I'm going. And it sounds crazy, sounds nuts, but I really do believe that. And if you believe in near-death experiences, astral travel, or just leaving your body, which a lot of people have done, and from shock, sleep paralysis is a thing. But then if you get into, the Michio Kaku talks about it, there are multi levels. Like we're sitting here right now, Dave, you're sitting there at the desk. That same room, stuff is going on, but at different levels of dimensions and frequencies.
Interesting.
Anyways, I got off on a tangent, but
That's okay. Because I was just going to share. I've only had one dream where I ended up visiting a place like this. Michael guy was, had all these dreams of Papua
New Guinea, yeah.
And when I was a kid, I would always have these dreams of being at this park. But the park had like a bistro where I would hang out with my friends, and then we would leave. Like it was like an ice cream shop.
Yeah.
And so then we would leave, and there were two paths around the park, and we were on one, and there was somebody else on another that was hunting us down, type of thing. It was very, very scary. And then my parents bring me to a park that is exactly like that, where it's like two pathways, and it's like, holy crap, I did not leave my parents' side that entire time, that I was there. And this is like 7 years old, 8 years old, things like that. So
yeah, see, I don't even think I'm getting it because I'm not going in depth with. I'm trying to just sum it up, but again, it's not a dream per se. It's legitimately going somewhere else, and that's where I guess I'll end it because I'd be here talking for hours. But I think with all of the tragic life that I've had, added to incidents in my life that made me disassociate from my body in certain ways. There's so much people don't know about me. I've been a pretty open book on a lot of things that have happened and I've gone through. But I also do feel with, even though everything I've went through and gone through, that even still at this point in my life, you can say I'm a lost soul, and I think I will be until I make that next step. It's just who I am, and I'm talking emotional, physically, everything that entails the sack that I'm in. That Art Bell talks about a lot. We're a sack that holds a soul and an energy, which we've talked about that in the past too. There's two things here, the soul that goes, and then there's a little bit of energy that's part of us too, that those are the things that stick around. Those are the things that time is irrelevant. It could come like some of these stories 10 years later, stuff like that, residual hauntings and things like that. But I think there's some things going on in my life, in that weird universe thing that's going on. I don't know, in my dream state. And again, people will argue it's a dream state that is hyper sensitized because of whatever, but it's not that. And let's move on to ghost stories.
all right. And I was going to say, and then there's Jim Lear.
John Lear, yeah.
Or John Lear. Yeah, I'm sorry.
There's John Lear, yeah.
With the soul spitting thing.
And to get to the point of, because I see some comments here, and I know Edward kind of gets some of the astral travel stuff and has gone through some of that himself, he said. But this is different. Like it's not a repeating of dreams or a repeating of certain things. Like there's a differentiating of dreams, which is a bringing together of memories that bang around in your head, okay, and cause a story. And like if you were watching something on TV and it's kind of reflected in your dream that night or something like that. This is different. This is every night is different. Every night continues. It's like going to sleep there and waking up here and continuing on. You know what I mean? Day to day. Sounds crazy, but if you did the research, you would go, you know what? this sounds interesting. So, anyways, okay, let's move on.
All right. And just hello to Sean in the chat.
Hey, Sean, what's
We
going
had left off with Mike living near me in Los Angeles, and he played pool, and he was obsessive compulsive. So when he was done playing pool, everything would be put away. The cue balls would go on the rack, the sticks would go in the holder, stuff like that. And all of a sudden, he hears all this noise from the pool room. And so he goes running back in there, and the pool balls are moving around on the table. You can hear that one has been sunk into one of the holes and is running down the side of the pool table. When he gets it, ends up being the 8-ball. Freaked him out. And, he doesn't know how it happened. And the door to the room was locked and everything like that. So I thought that was kind of a very fun, quick story that he had.
Yeah, and that was your last story?
That was my last story.
Wow. Okay. So you didn't hear Dwayne in Oregon, the artist?
About Dwayne.
Okay. Well, I don't know if this is the best one to we've got. Oh yeah, we don't got that much time.
Oh.
Wow. Which one do I pick? Okay, so
a couple. We got time for a couple.
Yeah, let me pick Jerry. Jerry is a sensitive. He's been a sensitive most of his life. I think he's 28 years old as he's calling in Art Bell. He says most spirits want to be seen and acknowledged. I think a lot of us, the people who go through this type of thing, like psychics and whatnot, say that. Can you imagine being a ghost or a spirit and you want to be acknowledged and you're banging on a wall? We see all like ghost hunters and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, I get that. But there was one spirit, Tommy, who stuck with Jerry, and he says one day he took not a Ouija board, but they took a piece of paper and they drew a Ouija board, which got Art Bell into saying, yes, it's not about the Ouija board itself. It's about, just you summoning.
The power you bring to it.
Yes, the power you bring to it. But what they ended up doing was putting a pentagram on it. Yeah, which of course Art Bell goes, well, you're immediately summoning demons or an evil spirit. And he goes, well, this is what my friend did, and they continued on. We were impressing girls, this and that, they were doing. So they were asking questions and stuff, and Tommy came forward. And at first, Tommy was telling them the simple story of I was a young boy when I got in a car accident and I died, my parents and this and that. And then they started asking it other questions, and it started getting a little sarcastic, saying some swear words. And they ask it, is that true how you died? And it starts lying, and it says, no, that's not how I lied, and things like that. Needless to say, they stopped and the girls went home. They said they saw a shadow figure on the way home in the back of the car with them. But Jerry, he's the sensitive. He says that Tommy stuck to him and to this day is still around him and will cause little things here and there to happen, and nothing really bad. But Art did push the fact that he should get somebody to help him out to push this energy away, the spirit away.
Yeah, like a cleansing type of thing.
Yes. I thought that was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting. The fact that he did it on the paper, just making the point that it's not necessarily, it's a toy. It's they sell it at the store still.
They do. Parker Brothers, right?
Nobody's took them to court yet.
That's true. That's one of the things that's always bothered me about Ghost Hunters. As much as I love that show, they have asked them about cleansing rituals, and if a ghost has ever followed them home, and they've said no, and big deal if it did, we could fight them on our turf rather than their turf. And I'm like, no freaking way. I go, that would freak me out if a ghost came uninvited along with me from a location.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe the last story. This is kind of a longer one, but
All right.
one that ends really weird. And I wish you would have listened to this one because I couldn't believe what the ending was. Imagine a cool story, interesting story, and it's documented, the accident and everything, but then it ends that way. I don't know, really weird. Okay, so there's a caller called in named Terry. It's a woman. She says her grandmother died when she was in high school. Okay. And Terry was in a car accident because of no seatbelt. Well, no seatbelt comes into play, not because of the seatbelt. It comes into play. Anyways, so they're driving down, and she said she was in the car. They had just gone shopping, and she knew she was going to be home in 20 minutes. So she's like, why put on my seatbelt? I want to go through the packages as we're driving home. 20 minutes. That seems like a long way home. Anyways, well, for me, listen, 20 minutes is not just around the corner. So she's doing that and everything, and she's going through the packages and all that. And she hears the voice of her grandmother in her left ear, she said. And she yells to her, put your seatbelt on now. And so she does. She goes, oh my God, because she turns real quick and she sees that there's a truck pulling up next to her. So she goes and throws over her seatbelt. And within 2 minutes of her grandmother saying that and her putting her seatbelt on, truck pulls up side of her and they hear this big boom and there's a big blowout. So one of the tires just blew. And they're riding alongside of it as it's jarring, and she's got her seatbelt on now, and it's moving back and forth. And what Terry says to the girl, because she's riding real slow, she goes, floor it, let's get past before it, because they said they see that the truck's is wobbling, it's gonna fall over. So they floor it, and it falls on top of their car and pushes into them, and the car goes right into the cement barrier in the middle of the road, the freeway there. And immediately it flies. She says, they say it flipped 5 times and ended up on its top. And her girlfriend, she said, seemed to be okay. She was hanging midway with the seatbelt wrapped around her neck, basically suffocated, with blood dropping down and everything like that. And she's looking through the metal. She sees her friend, and all of a sudden she said she felt an arm come to her, and start, caressing her arm. So, be calm, stay calm. Everything will be all right. Just stay calm. And, she kept making a point that the voice just seemed to put me in that place, and calm me down and everything like that. And as they eventually got their bodies out of the car, even though she was in kind of rough shape, she was able to talk. And she says there was a group of people over there, and she says, who's that man over there? Who's that man? And they said, that's the man that pulled you out. And he walks over to her, and she goes, oh my God, do you know who you look like? You look like Jack Palance. And he turns to her and he says, that's because I am Jack Palance. And that was the story. And I'm like, why did it have to end like that? That wasn't Jack Palance. What's going on?
But I do remember this.
Okay.
Because I've listened to these for years. I believe he said, honey, that's not important right now. What's important is, your care and your safety. And I believe it was Jack Palance.
That's what she said.
And because I remember Jack Palance in an interview talking about this situation.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
No. This is later on when someone asked him in an interview about if this was a true story. And he said, absolutely.
Okay. So then that was true.
Mm-hmm.
The ghostly part of it was the grandmother talking into her ear to put the seatbelt on. Okay. And she survived and she lived.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. It's a good thing you heard that story, because I was like, Jack Palance? That just sounds so weird. But
It does. It's like almost like you look like Peter Cushing.
right?
You know? But
Wow.
no, it's like
Okay.
Jack Palance actually did that.
Okay. Okay, we got some more time. I got another one. Okay, Robin called in. A little event happened to her about 5 years ago in a house she lived in, and a lot of little things like poltergeist activities, stuff like that. She remembers when she was 12 years old, though, doing laundry down in the basement. Imagine being Dave's mute. He's doing something. Dave,
I was going to rip up my notes.
no,
but-
you're good. Go ahead. You're good. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
So
I
she-
thought you were going to say, Dave remembers when he was a 12-year-old girl doing laundry down in the basement.
Yeah, that was a rough time, Dave, right? Anyways.
No idea.
So she was 12 years old doing her laundry down there, you know. Man, this girl, her whole life's filled with doing laundry. I don't know.
It's like the Wicked Stepsisters.
Yeah, that's the sad part of it all, I guess. But there was, like, in a lot of the older houses, you sometimes see these clip lamps that would go above in the basement when they're plugged in. They're not an actual light bulb hanging above the area. It's like they would put a clip lamp, with a bulb in there.
Oh yeah, okay. I know what that is. Yes.
Yeah, and you would get some light in the basement or whatever, or the attic, whatever. And she said she was doing that, and again, stuff would happen all the time in this house. But all of a sudden, the light started to flicker, and then the light started to just start moving around. So it's coming to this crescendo of not an explosion, but of a bright flashing light shooting out of the bulb about a foot, and immediately it turns into like a quarter size, she says, black round ball.
Oh boy.
And she says it shoots right at her head, and she ducks and it misses her, and she looks back and it's gone. It's nowhere to be seen. So I don't know what that was. Spirit trying to.
She's lucky she ducked.
That's what I'm saying.
She might have had a triangle in her pupil.
Yes. But it could have been something trying to enter her or whatever. I mean, who knows? It's an interesting story. Not one of the best, but an interesting.
I don't like basements.
Eh,
I'm not a big basement person. Too many bad things happen in basements. You never hear a good story of something happening in a basement. It's always like, this is where Civil War soldiers hid. This is where, people were buried. This is where, we smell freshly baked bread. And, we don't know where it's coming from. Things like that. Just weird.
the cook who lived in the basement.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm the baker who lived in the basement. I told that story to my kids all the time.
Yeah. I think it was a Hardy Boys book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 43.
Yeah. Moldy bread.
And I wanted to mention also, because a lot of people are talking about Jack Palance in the chat. There is a commercial he did that will scare the caca out of you, where he plays death. And I forget if it was for March of Dimes or multiple sclerosis or something like that. And he played this part of death, and he was just like, I'm going to take you. You're going to die. You're going to, and it
Wow.
freaked me out. So anyway,
Huh.
that's out there. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or Vimeo or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, no, there was another story, but I guess I can not read it. I don't know. You want to end the show or?
well, we've got just about 4 minutes left, but I was thinking since it is Christmas time,
Okay. Yeah.
say what you want to do, what you do for Christmas, or is there a special Christmas meal that you make? And are you like an eggnog person? What tell us about Christmas for you?
Well, I'm not an eggnog person. What do
I
you
didn't think you were.
Although I did taste it, and if you take the first sip of eggnog, you go,
It's good. Yeah.
that tastes good. But then you take the third, the fourth, then you start going, no, why did I drink eggnog? Oh, it tastes worse on the fourth sip.
It really does.
On and on and on. Yeah, yeah. But no, listen, I'm a dad. So it's like, the past, how many years? It's Christmas is about the kids and opening up. I mean, where do you want to go with this? I mean, it's the kids.
I guess more specifically, did you have a Christmas tradition?
Yeah, opening presents. No, no, Dave, there actually is. Thank you for asking. And I'm not joking. About when I started doing these types of streams, not the old time radio. I was into it a lot, and every year I'm like, I get my kids to listen to a Christmas Carol old time radio show, and there's a few of them out there. So every year we'll actually sit down and we'll listen to a Christmas Carol, which is kind of cool, and they really, really enjoy them. I say, sit back, just the tree lights on, listen. And yeah, that's kind of been a tradition every year now. So about the past 6 years or so, something like that. So yeah, I know that came through, right?
See you next week, everybody.
Dino's in rare form tonight. I don't know. Oh, that's it. How about you?
Dinner with my husband, Swedish potato sausage, wine, and conversation, Regina says.
That's good. My tradition is Christmas Eve dinner, then gifts. Yeah, there's people who do a Christmas morning or Christmas Eve. A lot of people will go Christmas Eve to relatives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And home for the Christmas.
I certainly missed, like when I was younger, we had a much larger family. And I remember I could not wait for my aunts and uncles to show up. We had Uncle Bill and Aunt Norma. And I remember having to go to bed, because they showed up so late one year, and Uncle Bill snuck over to see me and just to say Merry Christmas really late. So I really enjoyed that. But
believe it or not, I don't drink liquor or booze or alcohol of any kind, but the eggnog part, yeah. My Christmas was spoiled early on because. Listen, I'm the oldest of 7. I knew something was up. I stayed up with my eyes closed, but they were open. And why they would just start parading the line of presents right past us sleeping on the floor was beyond me. It blew it for me. No Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I turned 18 the year after, so
Well, I'll tell you, when I was
you didn't pick up on that, huh?
back in the
then I turned 18 the year after. So 17, I figured out there was forget it, Dave.
I was going to say in the late 80s and early 90s when I was working retail, and it is a nursery and everything, and we had a big, huge Christmas, like, we did cut trees, we did wreaths, we did garland, poinsettias, all that stuff. We sold these things called Christmas memories, and it was a wood cabin with a chimney in the center, and you put a piece of incense into it. It was like balsam fir and things like that. You would light it, put it inside, and it would have a smoke coming out the chimney. It was very cool.
That. Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I'd love to smell that again. And last year, I found one on eBay. I bought it.
Okay.
I lit it. And I guess over the past 30 years since they've sold them, it's fermented, it's rotted. It gave me such a headache and so ill. I mean, I guess this is like imagine, I guess, smoking a cigar for the first time. You know, it was just overpowering, sick, and I don't want to ever smell that again.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, 30-year-old chemicals, probably not good. Yeah. And even back then, it probably wasn't the FDA approved. Listen, I don't know, whatever.
The 80s.
Yeah. Edward Stewart, Christmas get together was mom's lasagna, garlic bread. So good. Wow, nice. Yeah. I mean, I could go on with my Christmas, memories, but boy, were they fun when my grandma was alive, man. Imagine a house full of 50 Italians, just all cooking up food and stuff, man. I always looked forward to the chocolate pies my grandmother would make homemade. And then there were like, I don't know, 20 different dishes because there were so many aunts and uncles and they all brought stuff. And oh, it was so good. So good. And the fun. My grandfather would always get tipsy, bring out his World War II Japanese wine that he stole. He stole it from a trunk. Anyways, and he would bring it out every Christmas and go, this is the year to open it. Did it? Never, ever open that bottle of wine. I love it. As Dave is grading. He's like, time to grade. God, I'm done. Okay, well, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Even though I was in some kind of downward spiral at the beginning of the show.
Rare form.
No, the thing is, Dave.
Tell me.
And it rarely happens, but there's an anxiety, a panic thing that goes on, and I do actually get. I mean, when a panic attack happens, you get confused and you try to get everything back together. And listen, it's very rare it happens on stream, but
I normally get up and leave. When I used to have my panic attacks, even in school, like literally the first day class of the day of the semester, boom, boom, out, done. Sorry, take another class. Grocery stores, halfway filled up grocery store, panic attack, gotta go, boom.
Oh yeah, no. It happened. Listen, one time on stream, and I think it was maybe 7 years ago, I was doing a live stream, and literally, I think 2 minutes into it, I had to shut it down. It's the only time that's really happened. So this one, I had you kind of there, kind of helping to get it together, and I was laughing it off. But yeah, no, it was a little chaotic. But anyways, it happened.
All right.
But
did we get at least 50 thumbs up?
Oh, should I look?
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see, 52. Anyways, this was a little off, but I think it was still fun hanging out and talking.
Next week will be a lot more fun.
Yeah.
With predictions. Bring your predictions, people. I'll have to remember to do one too. Last year I forgot.
Yeah. Bring your predictions next week. Take this week to sit down and dig deep and have a prediction ready for me. I will have the lines open. You will be able to call in if you want to give it won't happen, but to give a prediction. And it's got to come from the gut, and you got to really think about it. Okay? So hopefully that works out, Dave. 50-50 shot. 50-50 shot, Doc. 50-50.
1 in a million.
1 in a million. 1 in a million. Okay. Merry Christmas, everybody. Dave?
Do you mean business? One question you have to ask yourself about picking up girls is, do you really want to pick them up?
Hold the book up a little more. Okay, keep reading and I'm shutting it down.